Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday.
Morning.
Thank you for joining. We'll give folks a minute to jump on, and I will pull up our materials. So bear with me while we get started. Alrighty, just a moment. Shelby, once I get started here, can you help admit folks, please?
Sure can.
Cool, thank you. Alrighty. This is always the fun part, getting started here. Alrighty, sharing screen. And to our slides. Need this one. Okay. Alrighty, folks, we will jump right in. Welcome and thank you for joining us for our monthly homeless services provider meeting. I'm Mary Fitzgerald, our coordinated entry manager here with H3, which is Contra Costa Health, Housing and Homeless Service Division. Reminder, the purpose of this meeting is to provide a forum for all groups and agencies providing homeless services in Contra Costa County to share resources and important news and receive important updates regarding the CoC. So that's why we're all here. It's hosted monthly on the second Thursdays of the month from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. And really it's an open meeting, with contracted agencies, partners, as well as just, groups, whether it be volunteer, anyone providing services to people experiencing homelessness in our county. So please spread the word to anyone that you feel may find this meeting useful. Some housekeeping items, please utilize the chat as much as possible. We love to see questions, comments, good news kind of thing in the chat. If you would like to ask a question or share, please use the raise hand function. And then of course, please mute yourself while you're not speaking. I hate when I have to mute people, so just try to keep yourself muted so that there's no background noise. Our agenda for today, just welcome everyone. So if you'd like to take a moment, please go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat, your name, what agency you're with, so we can get to know who's in the meeting today. I think lately I've been skipping that piece, but we'd love to see who's on with us. So please take a moment to drop that info in the chat. We have a provider or guest spotlight this morning. We'll hear some coordinated entry updates, some red team updates, which actually I think there may be none today, updates for the CoC. And then finally, at the end of our meeting, you all will have time to share any updates, announcements, success stories, or ask any questions to the group. So as we usually do, we are going to kick it off with a guest speaker this morning. We have Dr. Kristen Colchico, who is the Community Health Worker Program Coordinator with Diablo Valley College Public Health Department. Kristen, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. I think you said you would be okay with sharing your screen?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Let me go ahead and turn it over. Gonna make you co-host and stop sharing. And I think now I hope you are able to share if you want to give it a
I am.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Take it away.
Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Kristen Kokiko. So I am the Department Chair of Public Health at DVC and also the Community Health Worker Program Coordinator. So we are starting our new CHW program this fall. And so I just wanted to just briefly go over it and just share with you. Okay. And then hopes maybe we can collaborate. All right, so I will start here. Okay. So this is our public health department. This is just a presentation I've used before. So I'm sure a lot of you are very familiar with public health in general. Again, it is about, community organization, health promotion programming, prevention of disease. So these are a lot of our courses that we offer, and you can see a lot of them, again, are very applicable, not just to, say, individual health, such as the personal health and wellness and stress management and drugs, health and society and women's health, but also we have, an array of other public health courses. And then here is our community health worker certificate, which I'm going to focus on mainly. So we also have transfer degrees. So we have an AS in public health. And then we have an AST, and it's a transfer degree in public health science. This one, we encourage more of our students that are entering into the medical field to take, this degree, because you can see here that it's highly condensed with the sciences. All right, so here we are. So this is our certificate program. So what it is it's 16 units. We're capping it at a 20 student cohort. This fall. It runs right now because it's new. It runs from fall 23 to spring 24. Eventually, we would love to build this program up because we are the only CHW program in Contra Costa County, which I'm excited and to say we are the one here in this area as far as it being housed at the community college level. Our nearest colleges are Berkeley City College, CCSF. They've had their programs for a while. So eventually, like I said, we would like to build it up to have a cohort come in fall and spring, right? But right now, students enter this fall. And you can see here in this fall, they will take an intro to community health work, which is just an online course. And then here, this PH201 is community health workers, principles and practices, and that's a 4-unit course. And I'll show you in a minute just some of the things that we'll go over, that we're teaching our students. And then they get an elective course in public health, which is what I showed you a couple minutes ago, health and wellness, human sexuality, cultural competence, drugs and health. And then in the spring semester, they will still be working with us. And this 201 and 202, they're hybrid courses. So they'll be online, and then we meet one time a week on a Thursday from 4 to 7 p.m. Because, we really, obviously, some of you might already know what a CHW is, but it's obviously about personal professional skills, right? So we need to be face-to-face in a classroom working on these skills. And then a PH203 and PH296, what they'll be doing here is I'll be advising them, and then we want them to be in an internship placement. So this 2-unit requires 120 hours of unpaid work or 150 hours paid. Ideally, we want to pay our students. So, again, this is just obviously what CHWs do. Translation services, cultural appropriate health information, helping people get the resources they need, giving informal counseling, client-centered counseling, helping with medication management, health education, direct services, screening, case management. So there's a lot of skills that our students need to be able to go out in these underserved populations and be able to bring them the resources that they need. So just really quickly, just to give you a little bit of an overview, here's my Canvas shell, and not that I'm going to go over all of this, but just to show you some of the things that we will be teaching them is the roles and responsibilities is based on the CHWs, which is the C3 core competencies of community health workers. So you can see here, the 10 roles, from coaching to advocacy to providing direct services to outreach, the competencies from communication to interpersonal skills, advocacy skills, outreach, knowledge, and then obviously just personal professional qualities, compassion, empathy, respect, non-judgment, dependable, dedicated, and so on and so forth. So, just a couple other things here. That would be like the roles and responsibilities. We educate them on the professional settings. So, they would, this agency would be an amazing place for them to get experience working with homeless, outreach, any advocacy. Here are just a couple other things. We tell them about how the evolution of community health workers. We introduce them to, basic public health concepts, just again of different stages of change models, to understand what community organization is, what health promotion programming is. The ecological model, where we look at not just the individual, but you look at the surrounding communities and how that, the relationship of the family. Here, obviously, health equity, that's a foundational principle in public health. Understanding that, CHWs are here to bridge those gaps, to work in those communities that have the inequities, introducing them to healthcare policy, cultural humility, to client-centered counseling for change, care management, home visiting. So, this is the first part of it. And, under each one of these, you can see, we have just talking about the importance of all of these, each one of these parts of our curriculum, right? And going over this, not just online, but having them come into the classrooms and take that information. And the way that we'll be running it is it will be a lot of pair groups, where they'll be working on motivational interviewing and open-ended questioning and establishing trust and rapport, and really practicing those skills every time we meet. And then obviously, giving them the information that they need. So here is, here's our flyer. And again, just breaking it down to the details here. Also the great thing about community colleges, and I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with our system, but we have shifted to what we would call they're called guided pathways and interest areas. And so public health falls into the science and health interest area. And the way that our campuses run is, we house our science and health. And then around that interest area, we have 5 on campus, is, we provide basic needs, which is, it would be our food pantry, to our telehealth, mental health services, financial aid. Students are eligible for free tuition, EOPS, and then also tutoring, academic supports. So we have around each one of these interest areas, we have an actual center on campus where, that's near where we teach our courses. And then we make sure that our students, from the time that they enter DVC and they register through the admissions and records, that, that we are there to help them all the way through, the entry, and staying there, getting their certificates and degrees, and then even tracking them. One of the parts that we'll be doing is tracking them as they go out into their internships and out into, their careers. Also, one of the things that is, I wanted to let some of you know that the biggest part here for me is I have the curriculum handled. I've been at DVC and I've been in education my whole life, actually, but for 20 years. So, we have the teaching aspect, the curriculum. I have my colleagues who will come in. We have workforce coming in to teach our students about resume building and interview skills. So it's a real collaborative effort as far as the curriculum aspects. But where we would need, obviously, great agencies to house our students for those 120 to 150 hours. And during that time, just to let you know right here is, it's not like during the internship, we're like, oh, here, have a great internship, I hope it goes great. Is this PH 203 and 296, while they're in the internship, I'm working with them. They're developing their clear objectives of what they want to learn. They're having to keep a journal. They're having to log their time. They're being accountable, right? They're putting together, they're checking in with me. How's your experiencing, going? And then the internship site has me as a point of contact. Hey, your student's doing great, or hey, they were late today. That kind of thing. So we're working together from the time that they enter the program in the fall to where then they exit and in the spring, and they're done with their internship experience. They've taken their performance-based exam. They've taken their certification exam, and then they are a certified CHW. Another thing here, just to let some of you know that if you are interested in housing our students, which would be amazing, because that's my biggest stress point, is I want to have my students get into these, have really enriching experiences, is if an organization can't provide, if it's a budget issue, DVC actually has this, it's called LAPE, and it's the Learned Alignment Enrichment Program. And it's actually a grant that we have. So if you're interested and it becomes a budget issue, then I can put you in touch with our workforce development, and then your agency can discuss how you can be part of this grant, which would subsidize them during their internship. So that's a really great opportunity also. And then obviously these are just some, this is more or less of what they can do. The CHWs is right now, I'm not sure if anyone knows, but I'm on a bigger work group at the state, and we are working to be certified, right? We want to certify our CHWs. This wants to be, a legitimate body where because they're so needed, right? And so, that's what I'm working on at the state level, and also where, the community college institutions can also work with those private organizations, that also train CHWs. We're not competing. We want to work in collaboration. And then also another great thing about community colleges is they come to us, they get this experience, and then they, get an internship experience. And then now they might even say, hey, I love public health, and then go on and get a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. This is, again, our program card. We talk again about our certificates and degrees. We tell our students, key courses to begin with, and then, some salaries here. So if some of you are wondering what a CHW is paid right now, it's anywhere from we have from $17 to $26 an hour. So anything in between would be amazing. And then, like the last one is essentially just, when you're in public health, when you are a CHW, we're focused on creating those safe and built environments and bridging those gaps, and then, trying to bring those resources to the people who don't know that they're there, and don't have the capacity to get them themselves, that need assistance, to eliminate those disparities. And, essentially that's pretty much it. And here's all of our contact, as far as here I am. And then we have, one other thing, we do have an addiction studies program. And let me just do this. and which is ran by Dr. Brandon Ignatowski. So we ADS runs the similar to the same way the CHW program is, but it's 4 semesters instead of 2. And we certify for substance abuse counseling. And then we also have a nutrition program. You know, it's not a CTE right now, but we do, you know, right now we have internships like with WIC and, you know, a couple other, there's another one, CalFresh, I think we're starting to send some of our students to, you know, get out into the communities to work in those areas that, you know, have a little bit more emphasis like on food and nutrition. So that's pretty much it. For my part, you know what, again, while I'm here today, I would, if you would think that, you know, that you could house one of our students as an intern, that you want to work with us and collaborate, you know, I'm not looking at this to be like a one and done. You know, we really want to build this program because community health workers they're just essential, you know, and there's a lot of money coming down from the state that by the year, I think it was 2025, they want to have like 150,000 CHWs working in the system. So we're like, we're here, you know, I'm like, we're training them. And so I would love, I'm the main person in the program. It is me, but I would love to work with you. So, you know, anyone that thinks that they could, you know, house some internships or interested in the late program and need some subsidies, I'm all open. So that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Kristen. That was amazing, you guys, to have this resource right in our backyard. I think that many of us may have gone through similar programs. I think that folks going through the CHW program are exactly the type of folks we need and our community needs in our agencies, right? And so this is an amazing opportunity, not only if you have staff or people in your circle who want to, would be interested in actually doing a program like this, but also importantly, I see leadership and managers on the line from our various agencies that this would be a great opportunity to get some folks in the door to, you know, spend their internship time at your agencies. And this sounds like a great opportunity. You know, I see Melissa, manager from ECM. I saw Alex earlier, Alvin, Jennifer, Tony, Carl, all you guys, Ralph. And we know that staffing sometimes is an issue. We also know that retention or getting qualified people, this program is amazing to start kind of from, you know, the very ground level. And it sounds like such a comprehensive education that these folks are getting. So this sounds like an amazing opportunity. If you are interested in learning more about how to host interns, please reach out to Kristen. You will get her contact information. If there's a lot of interest, which I'm hoping that there is, I'd be happy to even help you host another meeting just to talk about that onboarding process.
Yeah.
Something like that. I will say that H3, I think, is in the process of being able to take on interns, and we're super excited about that. So thank you so much, Kristen.
Of course, and absolutely. And yeah, that part is the registration. If you're interested, what we want to start doing is, one real quick thing is right at the beginning, like I think class 2 or 3, we're having our workforce come in and they are getting their resumes. We're talking about the importance of interviewing skills, all these things. And then I would like to provide them with a list, right, of possible interns. And then even though it won't start in the spring, to be in the process this fall, to be reaching out, submitting their resumes. If you have time to interview them, you know, that would be wonderful. I want them to go through that career process, and then they'll register, like I said, with our 296. And then that's where you would tell me, hey, these are the goals and objectives that we want from your agent or from your students. And we're like, okay, here we go. And then we develop like a more of a specific, what we would call a memorandum of agreement between our agencies to say, here's the 3 core objectives. This is how we're going to achieve it, and so on and so forth.
That's amazing. And one thing I will say, I know that in this field, a lot of us feel maxed out, right? And even taking on additional help, like an intern, sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, how am I going to add managing an intern to my plate, right? But this work is collective, and we also need to think about coming together and planning for the future, right? How can we ensure that we have the workforce that we're going to need moving forward? It's a collective effort, and this is all part of that. So I highly, highly encourage everyone to reach out to Kristen to learn more and become an agency that can take these interns, because it will only benefit our entire shared goal and mission moving forward. I see Alicia Alvarez from Shelter Inc. in the chat. It looks like they're able to accept interns. So, please connect there. Before we end with this segment, are there any questions for Kristen? Go ahead, Jamie.
So I know like this much about the sort of state program about community health workers, and does your program like there's a certification process? So does your program do that? Yes. My question.
Yeah. So one of the things we're trying to do, it's kind of almost like with the CHWs, that the cart came before the horse, if you want to say the cliche. It's like you started these programs, but then there was no, well, wait a minute, what does it mean to be a CHW, right? And so now, and this is where I'm working with the regional group of community college with HCI, we're in these meetings to say, all right, well, what's the certification exam going to look like? What is our performance-based exam look like? Because if we can all be aligned, right, we're going to have our different ways of teaching, but yeah, at the end of it. So right now, what we're doing, at least at the community college level, while the state decides what their exam will look like, is we're developing our own. CCSF has had CHWs for 30 years. I've patented the course after them. Why reinvent the wheel when you're already amazing? That's really what DVC is patterning after. So yeah, it will be a performance-based exam where they will, have to demonstrate those skills, and then an exam like a regular exam.
Any other questions? All righty. Well, thank you so much for joining.
Of course. So should I go in the chat? One last thing. I put my email in there. Should I go in the chat? And I see all of these things, and I'm awesome that you can take interns. So I know this is being recorded.
Alicia, if you want to drop your email, or if you want to reach out directly to Kristen or anyone that wants to do that, I think there's like a direct message function even in there. Yeah, but yes, please. That's why the chat is there. Feel free. And you can, if you want to stay on for the rest of the meeting, just to kind of see more about what we do, you're welcome. If not, either way, but we're so happy that you were able to come today. I'm super excited. I hope some folks take this on, because this is really can benefit so many folks, especially community health workers. We know the people we all serve are best served by those who are in and from the communities, right, that we're all in. So thank you, Kristen. Please, folks, feel free to reach out to Kristen. And yeah, looking forward to partnering.
Thank you.
Thank you. All righty. If this will let me change. Okay, moving right along. I will share some brief coordinated entry updates for the group. So the first thing exciting on the horizon, because as you guys know, or as our access point staff knows, a bunch of our programs are kind of at capacity or are winding down. So a lot of referrals for certain things have kind of been on hold, but fear not, hope is coming. We have a bunch of new programs or expansions on the horizon coming very soon, whether it be through our Measure X or NOFO funding. Very soon, we hope to be able to launch those. Those programs include expanded and new supportive housing, rapid rehousing, and prevention programs. I also will say, if you are a new provider through any of these efforts, or maybe starting a new program that you've never had that program in this area before, please plan on participating in a CoC one-on-one and coordinated entry overview kind of onboarding or meeting with myself and possibly other admin from H3 just to learn about the process. For example, especially if your referrals will be coming from coordinated entry, just to learn about that process. Make sure we give you guys any trainings that we'll need, etc. Make sure you're connected with myself. We hope that these new programs might launch around July 1st or soon later, or soon after. So please stay tuned. We're super excited to have those. So, you know, help is on the way and more opportunities are on the way. We're excited. It's going to be an amazing year with a lot of supportive housing opportunities on the horizon. Next thing I just want to make a plug for, as I always do, is to please, for those of you who monitor your CE APR dashboard or that make CE referrals and entries or enrollments, please be mindful to monitor your dashboard. You know, we're already like halfway through the year. So any day now, it'll come up that we'll be needing to, you know, make sure that our data is in order. I do hope to host an office hour to talk about the CE APR and just go through it with anybody who's still needing further support at some time in July. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, please make sure that when you go in and check on your HMIS data, maybe when you're doing your performance dashboard or others, please add that to your agenda to make sure you're checking in on. And then finally, reminder that our team, the CE team, does host the weekly housing placement meetings on Wednesdays from 2 to 3:30. If you get an invite, please attend. It means that you most likely have a participant within the top 100 of our community queue, and there may be supportive housing or other program openings to discuss for them. So the purpose of those meetings are to work together as a team and match folks in our community queue needing homeless services to the available resources. And also, I did want to make a quick plug that we have updated our homeless services flyer. So what may look familiar to, or hopefully looks familiar to most of you, is the flyer on your left. Well, I think it's your left, but the purple showing our access points where you can call, drop into a care center, or connect with CORE. What we've added to this flyer, and we ask anyone who is distributing this flyer to please use the new one, is how to access shelter on the back. So a lot of folks, I think that CORE, for example, maybe is the only entry point to any shelter in our community. However, we actually have many or most other shelters in our community are able to be accessed in other ways, or for example, self-refer through a hospital. So we've included that shelter list and how to access shelter on the back of our flyers. So we hope that this gives folks more information who are needing shelter about the options that CORE will be able to help place them at, as well as other areas that they can self-refer to. So please, if you utilize this flyer, which hopefully you do, or maybe you have it posted in your agency, in your lobby, please check out and utilize this updated version moving forward. And it's also just handy, the fact that this shelter list is here for all of us to have in case we ever come across folks in our daily work that are needing shelter, and empower them on how to access those services. Any questions about this?
I just want to add, this is also available in Spanish, and I'm going to drop a link in the chat where you all can get these and print them out if you need to. And we also have one, even though transition age youth can access everything like everybody else, there's also a flyer about TAY specific services too on the page I'm going to link you to.
And I just caught a glimpse of a question in the chat, Melissa, about the placement meetings. They will not be moving to 2:30. They will be from 2 to 3:30. Thank you. I don't believe we have any red team or HMIS updates. I think a few folks from our red team are out of office. Anyone on from red team? No. So no, there's no red team updates today, but as usual, be mindful of submitting your monthly enrollment reports, etc., in a timely manner, as I'm sure you all do. Moving right along to our CoC updates, and I will turn it over to Jamie J.
Thank you. Just a few things to note. So we have, as always, about 1 million meetings happening related to the Council on Homelessness. So we have our Equity Committee meeting coming up on the 13th. I'm actually really excited about this work. So we're focusing on developing new materials, both for providers to use and also for community members so that they really understand how to access things. And our particular focus is actually folks with Hispanic or Latinx, that are Hispanic or Latinx or Latine. There's like I keep getting new language, but what we're seeing in our data is that Latinx folks are underrepresented in who's accessing our services, even though we know that there are a lot of folks that are struggling. And so one of the ways that we're trying to figure out how to do things better is make sure that our materials not only are in Spanish, but also are really culturally relevant. So if there's anybody where that's interesting to you, definitely come to our Equity Committee meetings. Path Innovations Committee meeting and the Council is happening July 6th. If you go to the next slide, I have not had my copy this morning, it's clear. We're really excited. We have a training coming up on Monday, June 12th. So I'll just note, this is mandatory for all CoC providers. So if you're getting funding to provide homeless services in our community, we would need to see folks from your agency there. Again, it's going to be online, and I'm going to drop the link in the chat if you have not already registered, but it'll be Monday from 10 to noon. And Home Base is going to actually be doing the training. They have a whole sub team that's working on racial equity trainings. And so they're going to do a training for us. What else do we have on here? I forget.
That's wonderful. I think that was it, Jamie, unless there's anything that I left off.
I don't think so.
Okay. Any questions for Jamie regarding any of the upcoming CoC meetings or training? All righty. Well, thank you, Jamie. And that brings us to, I think this is the first time we've had this much time for this spot, but this brings us to our open forum space. So I would like to open it up for questions, but also if we want to share provider updates, any news, announcements, success stories, anything like that, this is a time where we open the floor for you all to share. I see Wayne, your hand. So go ahead. This might be a question for Jamie because I don't know how long your hand was there, but welcome and go ahead.
Nope, I just brought it up. Hello, everyone.
Okay.
My name is Wayne Earl. I'm from the Bay Area Rescue Mission. I wanted to announce, and I will put the PDF flyer for this in the chat in a moment, but on Saturday, August 5th, 2023, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., the Bay Area Rescue Mission is hosting a block party. The block party will be on McDonald Avenue between 1st and 3rd Street. So like 3 blocks. We have free backpacks and school supplies that we're giving out, food, haircuts. We're distributing clothing and groceries, prizes and giveaways. There'll be DJ music, live entertainment. It's going to be fun for the entire community, for the neighborhood. We want to invite people to come, particularly if you have clients that have needs for school supplies. We're distributing many hundred backpacks full of school supplies. So let me, I'm going to put the flyer in the chat here, and thank you so much for allowing me to announce this.
That's awesome and sounds so exciting, Wayne. Thank you guys for putting on that event. Any other announcements? Would anyone like to share any success story? All righty, folks. Well,
Mary, hi, this is Tony. Sorry.
Yep. Oh, go ahead. No, please take it away, Tony.
you know, it's my brain was somewhere else and it finally like clicked in. Just want to give everybody a heads up. We are opening 5 project-based voucher wait lists on Monday at 10 a.m. So if there's people that are interested in applying to any of those 5 properties, they should log into our website and, you know, just work through the workflow on Monday morning at 10 a.m. It'll be open until the 29th of June. Hopefully we'll get enough applicants to populate all the wait lists for each of those 5. And, you know, the housing itself will be kind of piecemeal as vacancies come out, we select from those wait lists. Okay. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention, we have an open recruitment out there for a homeless services program manager. We had Justin Pinnell in that seat for a while and he went back to H3. And so we're looking to fill that seat again.
Great. Thank you, Tony. And Tony, I think we had sent out that information about the wait list opening on Monday. Do you mind if we also include it when we send out or post the materials for this meeting?
I would include it anytime, every time until
Awesome.
June 29th.
And question for those, because I know this has come up for us, is what is there like a general eligibility for those properties? Will it vary? Can you tell us about the eligibility piece?
Yeah, so if you look at the, and I'll figure out how to put the flyer into the chat here in a sec. But if you look at it, there are specific bedroom sizes that we're looking to populate. So that's important. Just to give you an idea, normally our household, you know, composition consists of a bedroom for the head of household and spouse. And then there's a bedroom for every 2 people thereafter, and it's regardless of age or sex. So if you have, you know, a parent and 2 children, that would be a 2-bedroom. If you have a parent, a spouse, and 2 children, that's also a 2-bedroom. But if you have, say, a parent and 3 children, that jumps into a 3-bedroom. You know, that part's important. As far as qualifying, you just have to be within the income limit that is established for our rental subsidy program, which is generally 50% of the area median income. And like currently for one person, it's $51,800. For 2 people, $59,200. So it's pretty high up there. And then, you know, there shouldn't be any kind of criminal background that's, you know, violent related or, you know, the worst kind of sex offender. I forget whether it's tier 1 or tier 4, but, you know, not the one where 2 minors are dating or a minor is dating somebody else. An 18-year-old and become a sex offender kind of thing. But thanks, Shelby. Tier 3 probably. But that's generally it. You know, they should be citizen. You know, if they're not, and there's other members in the household, we prorate the subsidy. For example, say there's 2 of you and 1 of you is a legal resident, the other one's not. You'd only get 50% of the subsidy. Which would make your rent portion much higher than, you know, typically where both family members or all family members are legal residents. You know, but that's, you know, it provides a piece of subsidy there. But that's generally the qualifications. They're not really complicated. You know, it's, you know, below the income limit, not having a, you know, seriously bad criminal background and being, you know, a legal resident of the United States. That's it.
Thank you, Tony. So folks, this is a great opportunity we have many people on our placement list that they are very much in need of housing, but many of our programs, for example, give a 30% AMI and below income limit. This is 50%. So for those folks that have been, you know, in need of housing, but they're a little bit above that 30%, but still struggling, obviously, this is a great opportunity. So we encourage you to please assist your participants in applying to this wait list. Thank you, Tony.
Yeah,
Any other?
yeah,
Oh,
and
go
you
ahead.
know, the other part of that is if you don't apply, you don't get anything. So,
Yeah.
make sure that, you're at least doing that.
Yeah, thank you. Joe, I see your hand, but really quick, any questions for Tony? All righty, go ahead, Joe.
Hi, everyone. Joe Bruno here. I just wanted to make a request. Today's, I don't know, presentation from DVC was great, and it made me think of the Spirit program and from CCC and how the Spirit program also has an internship. So I know I'm always talking about the Spirit program and, valedictorian 2021, but I think it would be really good to bring them in to this meeting and have them do a presentation similar to the one that was just given from DVC. I'm always trying to connect those two threads of the housing and peer support. So it would be just nice to see the Spirit program do a presentation on their internship program as well. You're muted.
Thank you, Jill. That would be great. We would love to have them. If you still have a contact there, someone else in our office might, but it might take a little searching of me. But if you have a contact, feel free to introduce them with me so I can get them scheduled to present. Thank you, Joe. Any other announcements, successes, questions, comments that anyone would like to share with the group? All righty. It looks like that is it. So, reminder, thank you all for joining. Please continue to share this meeting, and just as Joe did right now, please let me know if you've learned of a resource or know of any opportunities out there that we can have continue to have awesome guest speakers join us and share these resources and connect them with me so we can get them scheduled. And reminder, next meeting will be on Thursday, July 13th. So I look forward to seeing you guys all there again if I don't see you before that. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your week. Bye.
Bye.